And even if you see that you are falling behind or you're not seeing the opportunities, you can go back to your older customers, upsell them services, or for any customer that you book, you can say, you know what, if you refer me somebody you get, this amount, this discount on your, on your next shoot. Or you can go back to your old customers. I mean, if they had birthday last year, they must have birthday this year too, right? So you keep track of this. You keep track of their customers, your customers. When the birthday is coming up, you approach them for them to have a photo shoot and so forth. But the key here is, if you know what income you're going with, you're not going to be chasing around, trying to figure out where am I going to get clients. No, you know specifically how much you need to make. And then the opportunities are going to present themselves to you. And the beautiful thing with your field of work is that once you post your photos on social media, all the invisible and the visible followers are going to see it, and they're going to book you even faster. All right? So do you feel like your income goals are achievable?
Definitely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The numbers may work because I do certain things like that. So at the beginning of the year, I select times of the year where I think my business
Business will have a
products
boost.
would
Mhm.
work. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you either you really exceed
Mhm.
what you had in mind, or sometimes it can really pale in comparison. So for
Yeah.
example, for me, because I do personalized items and
Mhm.
gifts and those sorts of things, I thought that Valentine's Day would have been a good, but the funny thing, it was very underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well, it's either people not in love, or
Or
they
you're not feeling the spirit.
or they're not feeling the spirit, right? So I think we also have to consider, and I guess you will do that. You have to, as much as you might plan some things, you have to look at the elements that you're
Yes.
working with. So I
Mhm.
was just saying, I was thinking of him, and I mean, being a person who pays attention to photographers and videographers, especially on social media, I'm thinking Crown Images also has to consider his competition,
Mhm.
the number of people who are into photography. I mean, I'm not saying that he will not set himself apart,
Mhm.
but I can understand, as a business person, I too had to feel like I had to keep changing my game,
Mhm.
because you start one thing
Mhm.
and then somebody picks it up, and then you have to
Very
try to be
typical.
different.
Mhm.
So I felt I had to be trying to change my products every 3 months or so, just to
Mhm.
deal. And then I have set goals, but then some of them get smashed because of, I know everybody's talking about port charges and all these different things. And
Mhm.
honestly, some of my goals have had to change because of the environment in Dominica. It is very overwhelming
Mhm.
for a small business or business to
All
survive. So
businesses. Mhm.
I have set goals in mind, but then sometimes either the environment is not encouraging as you think it is,
Mhm.
or the costs are going up, and that is something that we cannot predict,
Mhm. Mhm.
so for example, I'm a person, I work with, let's say, Campbell's
Mhm.
to do my labels and those sorts of things. There are certain things that are standard, so I know if they charge me X amount for my labels, my cards and those sorts of things. But then I go to the store and I would like to purchase a glass to print on. Last month the glass was $9.50. When I return in 2 weeks, $11.
Mhm. So it
But the
takes
thing is, you already set your price at
Right.
$45. Even if you put a little buffer, for yourself,
Mhm.
gas, so you cannot just switch up.
On your
1 month
clients like that,
in
yeah.
January, a customer buys a glass at $40. Next thing, bam, bam, February they come back, $45. It can be, this can drive customers away. As
Away.
much as they might want it,
Mhm.
they're like, but last month, it's almost as if they start distrusting you.
Mhm.
So I can understand having goals, but trust me, those goals can be crazy to,
It
to
can.
achieve sometimes.
Mhm.
The thing about it, that is the nature of business.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, if you don't plan, then you're basically planning for failure. because it is in the planning of things that you get to know your business and you get to know yourself. And sometimes, a lot of times, things don't work out the way you wanted them to, but you learn along the way. You learn, and at times things work out a lot better, and there are lots of things you can do to hedge your bets, and the more you plan is the more you learn about your particular area of business. So it's really essential.
Yeah. I agree with what Cedric is saying, and I also want to touch on a point that you mentioned that about the competition. One thing that I've learned about when I was trying to define my niche in my two businesses, well, with Ngaska, it's pretty easy-ish, for the Caribbean. But, I had to understand what made my business different. And the thing that makes your small business different is you. I think as entrepreneurs, we shortchange ourselves about that a lot. As somebody who has consumed, for example, let's say photography from, Shervon and Media Links, Crown Images and Media Links, I can tell the difference in personality. I can tell the difference in the quality. Both excellent products, but I can tell the differences. And it's important for you to know when you see, before you even see the competition, what is unique about your product. Because customers, in as much as we think customers, just want photos taken, they don't just want photos taken, they want an experience. And you give that experience. Media Links also gives a different experience. That gives you different quality products. People see the pictures, but they remember the experience. The other thing is, apart from you being the differentiating factor in your business, you have to look at the final product. Some photographers you go to for some things. If you look at your competition out there, everybody else who's doing photography, you will see the difference. There is a quality of clients that go to some photographers. There is a different qualities that go to others. You understand? All you have to do is just look on the social media feeds and see the outcome. All right? So competition is not, I think competition is not something to shake us up or to destabilize you or to feel like, okay, because somebody is doing that, you have to do something else. But competition is there to make you, again, reiterate what makes you different and do something better than your competition. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. When I teach people how to make money online, and when I was coaching it, a lot of people were falling for these Ponzi schemes and these pyramid schemes and this money circle and all these things. So much so that they actually tried to get me into those Ponzi schemes and these pyramid circles, What I teach people is how to make money online using your skills. But the pyramid schemes teach something else. Now, people think it's all making money online. But I teach people the skills and the long-term money. But the pyramid schemes are, fast money and a scam. But the client outside only sees with the pyramid scheme, not knowing that it's a pyramid scheme, they see that, I'm going to make money fast. So why do I have to take your course and wait 3 months to get a job, Only to realize that after you invest whatever money you're investing in that scheme, you're going to get scammed because it is a scam. You understand? So when those things started to come around, although it's not the perfect comparison, but at that time it was a little bit difficult because you have to explain to people that, it's not that I'm jealous of that, but that is a scam because it's a scam in its nature. After those things came around, it was an opportunity for me to stand solid on the values of what I was bringing to the table. This is what I bring. This is what I will teach you. And interestingly, everybody else who went for the scam got scammed because it is a scam. The money they said they didn't have, they put it in the scam and they got scammed. And I was still there, ready and willing to teach them the right way of doing things. So all this just to say that when competition comes, look at what competition does, look at what they are not doing properly, and add that as an added value to your thing. All right? That will help you establish yourself as a stronger opponent and help you to provide better value. Yes.
And as well, do not compromise on what it is that you say you're going to do for people, because that is going to separate you. That is going to be your thing. Change is inevitable, yes, but don't compromise on your values.
And do not make your products cheaper. Do not make your products cheaper because somebody, oh my God, I read something else. Somebody told me your clients, they don't want discounts, they want value. They think they want a discount. But if you discount, let's say if you say, okay, instead of 250, I'm going to give you 200, but that means I need to take out that one light. When you show the pictures without the one light, they're going to come back at you and be like, well, it's not what I thought. Well, you paid $200 instead of 250. So what do you want? But at the end of the day, they don't understand that. So don't compromise on, you don't discount your price because competition comes. In fact, if competition comes with something less expensive, look at what they are offering and upsell your services. Like, you add something to justify your value, but don't bring it down because somebody is coming with done. First of all, I don't believe in discount. Let's start there. But that's another conversation. Yes.
What I've experienced, what I've experienced, I don't know if you all experienced that too, but the clients that ask for the discounts, they're usually the most difficult clients to deal with.
Oh, Media Links has something to say about that.
They're so difficult because I had an experience where the client was just demanding that I give him a discount. And I'm like, okay. And that client was literally the hardest client that I had to deal with. And he still left
Bad review.
a bad review after I gave him the discount. I was like, bruh.
So I don't believe in discount. I agree with you. I have had that experience also. I don't believe in discounts, and the reason is because I think for you to provide the service you provide, you need to have the right tools. Either you need to hire people or you need to have the right equipment and so forth. And discounting a product, discounted values, it almost says that, you know what, I'm charging you $250, but in reality it's $200 and I just want to make extra money. No, the price is the price. The value is $250. If you cannot afford it, then maybe when you can afford it, we can give it to you. Now, there are clients who are repeated clients, right? And that with them, you can have a certain faithful, loyalty, like they've been booking from you several times without arguing and so forth. It's almost like if you go to a store and they give you a loyalty card, they give you a 15% discount. That is fine. But when people come to you and ask for a discount, the first time they're not your clients. They're not your clients. Come again. Yeah. They're not your clients. And let me tell you what's going to happen with those clients. Two things can happen. Either they walk away, or when they see that you are consistent with your value and with what you offer, they will come back with more money. Yes? Oh, okay. That case option. Thank you for that. Yes.
No, that was pretty much what I was gonna say. They will ask you. You will do. I do free consult. I do a free consultant session, and they will go through. And I do it because I have passion for what I do. So I will do the session with you. I will give you the price, and I already know 3/4 of the way through the session if I'm going to end up doing any business with you, because some people will sit through. You give them the prices and the price ranges, and then you start to see the expressions on their faces. And you're like, this is going to be a headache.
Yeah.
If it comes through, it's going to be a headache. Because they believe that every little thing you offer them can be done cheaper. They don't think of time. And when you do services, even writing, people don't value your time. To write a report for a person takes hours. It's not just going by Campbell's to print the report. It's hours and days.
Yeah.
And they ask for it, and it's like, so you want me to take out? I cannot print it. You print it yourself. Go ahead. That is the only thing I will take out. I can the cost of printing, fine. But
Discounts come in people who want things now. Discounts come in, but just do that, not like that. I don't need all that. But like I say, your value is your value, because once you do it and you deliver it to a client, that represents you. And when somebody says, but how that is then, they're not going to say because I wanted it fast. They're going to say, Mister, do that for me.
For me, exactly. Right. Remember, they want results.
And one thing that I have learned the hard way is not everybody is your client.
Oh, yes.
You have to be able to pick who, because certain people, I realize they come to you and they expect you to do good work, but they do not want to pay. They don't want to pay, and they expect top-notch service, but they don't want to pay for that service. And I've just learned that, yes, clients can interview you, but you should also interview the
your
clients
precisely,
to
yes.
see if that is the right fit for you and your business.
Definitely. Definitely. Those are all real valid points. And I think that comes from the money mindset that people have. People believe that, first of all, I shouldn't spend money on a small business because it's you that there, but I'm comfortable spending money at a big company, and it's our responsibility also as business owners, qualified business owners, to educate people about the importance of doing that. And we do that by remaining true to our brand, remaining consistently good. Eventually they're going to have one of those three case scenarios, but I think that at some point you're going to have more clients coming back to you for asking for your services. Now, before we take our short break, I just wanted to share with you a little more about planning for a productive business year. I think we already spoke a little bit about it when we were taking the example of crown images, but I want to tap more on key habits to stay on top of your business and personal goals, and how to assess your product, your progress, and track your results. Now, one thing that I do is quarterly planning. That is how I am able to achieve my business goals. Anybody else plans his business quarterly? Anybody else does quarterly? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, and the beginning of summer, maybe graduation. Mm-hmm. Christmas, yeah. Mm-hmm. Come through. Mm-hmm. 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 For the, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. On based on activities, and it works too. Yes, it works too. That those activities will define your quarters, right? But for you to ensure, the consistency of your income, what would be the best thing would be to make sure that you maximize on those activities, so that even if for the other months of the quarter, so right, you can still cover your costs. And like Cedric was saying, that is the fun of being an entrepreneur. Sometimes you really, really get high. Other times, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All these gems.
So I already saw my patterns in my business.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that January and December are very popular months for weddings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My worst months in terms of literally getting consistent flow of income is March.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because after Carnival in Dominica, people just go into this
Lent
very
before Easter, yeah.
right, very
Mhm.
somber time.
Mhm.
Also, surprisingly, there is a lull in November.
Mhm.
After independence is done, nobody wants to hear anything about money until Christmas.
Mhm.
So November and March are my
Mhm.
two very quiet months.
Quiet months, yeah. Mhm.
And I usually take my July month and into August as my little break.
Mhm.
I really carve that out because
Mhm.
rest is important.
Yes, of course.
But so knowing that, I already start planning. So I know when I can overcompensate, meaning that Christmas really sets me
yes,
for
and you really
a little
push.
while,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
then you prepare for the
Mhm.
quiet time. But then again, as I said, I'm thankful that I have a business that things like birthdays
Mhm.
can, give me a little cushion once in a
Mhm.
while. So
Yeah.
I can say the September bonds, for some reason, September is a
They like
very
the-
popular month.
They
I
like their
don't know.
gifts.
Everybody and their mother was born in September in Dominica. and Christmas birthdays, January birthdays, and so forth. So I look, yes,
That's good.
right.
Yes,
So
that's good. And what you can do, the important thing is to really make sure that during the month where you have high activity, if you can double, if you are making 100 orders, aim at 150, 200, even if you need to hire additional staff, so that during your quiet months, you can still have passive, low-grade sales coming in, but you can use those quiet months actually to maybe set up your systems, improve your systems, think about new products, because you work with a social calendar, but you also want to make sure as much as possible that you are covered during those months. So if you end up hiring somebody, you're going to be like, okay, so I'm not going to pay you for February and March, but come back in April. So the quarterly planning really helps, and it also helps to break down your activities and break down your goals, achieve your goals better. I know big businesses do that. And that's how they are able to allocate funds. And that is even a huge strategy for us as entrepreneurs. If you want to work with businesses, you have to know how they plan quarterly. You know that come October, and some of them October, November, they're already setting their plans for the next year. Some of them up to September. So if you want to go to them to pitch them ideas, you have to go around that time and not wait for when everybody says New Year, new resolution. It can be too late. All right. So not just for your business, you need to know quarterly planning, but also for the businesses that you want to work with. All right. I believe that you need to secure the bag early. So you will see me all in September, October. I'm going to solidify my contract for the next year, so that when everybody is like, okay, new year, new me, I'm like, yeah, I already have the bag. New me was since October, so I can think about something else. So I will encourage you to do that as well. Plan on a quarterly basis. Now, in addition to making your goals to breaking down your goals, it makes them more achievable and easier, both your personal business goals and your financial goals. And you can set up different milestones that you want to reach at different times of the year. Now, quarterly planning also helps you to prepare for those heavy seasons. I know a lot of entrepreneurs are usually surprised. It's almost like you're surprised by Valentine's Day, or you're surprised by Mother's Day when it's every year. But it's understandable because you're very busy, you're very overwhelmed with your own work. So when Valentine's Day comes, you're like, in 1 week, man, no. If you want to sell for Valentine's Day, or after Christmas, from January, you start to pump it in people's head. Valentine's Day, in different ways. That is why it's important to do that planning. You think people don't see, they might not like your post, they might not entertain, but trust me, when they think about the Valentine's Day gift, you will come in mind first. That's how it is. So with quarterly planning, you can anticipate. So Carnival is over. Yes, people are going to jump up tomorrow. Carnival is over for the business people because money has been spent or made. Our next season should be Easter. So right after Carnival, Tuesday or whatnot, you should already be thinking, what am I rolling out for Easter? And come after Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. So at the end of Carnival, you should already be planning for your second quarter. What am I rolling? What am I doing? How am I going to market? All right. So how do you measure your progress when you plan your goals? So one thing that I do, and that works well for me and for my team, we have, for every quarter, we have quarterly goals, income goals, how much you want to make for every quarter, and we break it down into months, okay? A quarter has 3 months. So I already know how much we want to make in the second quarter, and we break it into April, May, June, just like I did the example with Cron Images. Now, after you have broken it down into you break it down into weeks. Knowing how much you want to make in a month, you break it into 4 weeks, and I know how much fabric I have to sell. I know how much necklaces I have to sell for me to be able to make those goals. Sometimes, like Leandra said, you will have people just placing a lot of orders that cover you, but you need to break it down so that you can see clearly, and so that you don't spend a week being like, well, you know what, I'm tired, I'm gonna try next week. No. And after you break it down into weeks, you break it down into the days. How many glasses do I need to sell a day? How many people do I need to pitch to for me to get to my quarterly goals? Okay. You need to have key specific deliverables. So if you say I want to make $2,000 for this quarter, it needs to be broken down, and you need to know exactly how much you want to make in the month and in the week. Because if you don't plan it that way, you're going to procrastinate and postpone it, and you're not going to achieve it. Another thing that I do is doing daily morning and evening reviews. So when I set up my goals in the morning, before I post on WhatsApp, before I do anything, I write down what I need to achieve. Okay? So when you see me post on WhatsApp, if you see me on social media or don't see me, you better believe I already written what I need to achieve. Okay. So I write down what I need to achieve, how many clients I need to speak to. And for some of us, our businesses, we might not make sales every day, but we might encounter clients every day. So for you, for example, Yana, who is into writing, or Monique, who is into research and consulting for businesses, you can tell yourself, if you know your numbers, you can tell yourself, maybe for me to get 5 sales in a month, I need to talk to 30 people in the month. If you know your numbers, you know that if I talk to 30 people, I can get 5 sales. So for me to talk to 30 people, I need to talk to 10 people this week, maybe 5 next week, 5 next week, and then 10 the next week. Knowing your numbers. So even if you don't make sales every day, at least you know how many times you need to prospect. Okay, and that keeps you on your toes on a daily basis. And I review my days and I review my evenings every single time. Daily review, what worked well, what didn't work, what can I do better. For me to do that, I use a tool that is called the High Performance Planner. I can send you guys the link if you want to check it out at some point. And it's basically a diary. I think I even have it in my bag. It's not a diary, but it's like an agenda, a planner that helps you to plan your months and your weeks on a day, on like basically every month. You can plan your months, you can plan your weeks, you can plan your days. So every day you have your intention for the day. How you want the day to go. Who do you want to connect with on a specific day? What specific goals you want to achieve? What are 3 key things you want to do today? And it's especially important for me because I like to just pack my days with things, but it helps me to stick to 3 key things. So if I need to speak to 3 clients, I write it in the planner. And it also gives me a section for me to reflect at the end of the day. What did I do? Was I spending too much time on social media? Some days I do. Was I sleeping when I wasn't supposed to? Some days I do. It helps me to stay accountable to myself, and I know what I have to improve the next time. And it also gives me weekly review pages. So at the end of the day, you also review your week to see how you did personally in different areas of your life, not just as a business person, but as a person also. In the next section, we're going to talk about, when we talk about implementing and overwhelm and without overwhelm, we're going to talk about how to make time for your business when you have a family, when you have a significant other, and all that stuff. And just to close this session, it's important to know that as an entrepreneur, every single day matters. Every single day. You cannot waste time that has gone. It's like, because you have a full-time job and you probably have a family, make it your responsibility to make every day matter. So when you know what you're supposed to achieve in the month, break it down into weeks and break it down into days. If you don't have to sell every day, at least every single day, do one thing for your business. Do I need to take a course? Do I need to do research? What do I need to do? But don't let a day pass without you doing something for your business, because every single day matters. I have adopted that for my life for the past 2 years. It has given me discipline. And in fact, I get sometimes, and I'm telling you, it's just the Holy Spirit that tells me, you wrote it in your agenda. You didn't do anything for your business today. Wake up and go and do it. I will try to sleep, but it will be like, nope, wake up and go and do it. I'm telling you, legit, wake up and go and do it. I just have to go back and do it. And as I go and do it, the sleep just goes away. I'm like, okay, so that sleep wasn't really sleep, So I try to make sure that every single day I do something for my business, because I know that when you have a full-time job or a family or things can take the priority. But since I started planning my days and I made every single day matter, it makes a difference. So I encourage you to